wish had gone differently, a decision you're afraid to make, a future problem that hasn't even happened yet. You tell yourself, "I'll stop thinking about this." But the moment you say that, your mind pulls you back in. The thoughts don't slow down, they multiply. And slowly, without realizing it, your entire body starts to feel tired. This is overthinking, and it is one of the hardest mental patterns to break. Not because you are weak, not because you lack discipline, but because your brain believes it is protecting you. Overthinking is not thinking too much, it is thinking without resolution. It's when your mind keeps asking questions that don't have clear answers. What if I made the wrong choice? What if this goes wrong? What if I regret this later? These questions feel important, urgent, necessary. But notice something. No matter how long you think, you don't feel calmer. You feel more tense, more confused, more stuck. That's because overthinking isn't about solving problems. It's about escaping uncertainty. And uncertainty is something the human brain deeply dislikes. Your brain evolved in a world where uncertainty meant danger. Not knowing what was coming could get you killed. So the brain learned a simple rule. If I stay alert, I stay alive. That rule helped our ancestors survive. But in the modern world, it creates a problem. Because today's dangers aren't physical, they're psychological. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being misunderstood, fear of making the wrong decision. Your brain treats these fears as if they are life-threatening, so it stays active, it stays alert, it refuses to rest. This is why overthinking feels automatic. It doesn't feel like a choice. The moment uncertainty appears, your mind jumps in, and once it does, it doesn't know how to stop. Deep inside your brain is a system designed for survival. Its job is to detect threat. It doesn't ask logical questions, it asks emotional ones. Am I safe? Could something go wrong? When this system becomes active, your body reacts immediately. Your breathing changes, your muscles tighten, your thoughts narrow. You may not notice it consciously, but your body enters a mild fight or flight state. And in that state, the mind doesn't want peace, it wants certainty. So it keeps thinking. It replays the same memory. It imagines different outcomes. It creates worst-case scenarios. Not because it enjoys suffering, but because it believes thinking more will keep you safe. This is why logic rarely stops overthinking. You can tell yourself there's nothing to worry about, but the emotional brain doesn't listen to words, it listens to signals. And the signal it's receiving is fear, so it keeps going. Overthinking also creates a powerful illusion, the illusion of control. When you're overthinking, it feels like you're doing something productive. It feels responsible. It feels smart. Your mind says, if I analyze every detail, I won't make a mistake. But notice what actually happens. You delay decisions. You doubt yourself. You lose confidence. The mind stays busy, but nothing moves forward. And the longer this continues, the more your brain learns this pattern. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition, so overthinking becomes a habit. Not a conscious habit, but a neurological one. Your brain starts to associate constant thinking with safety. That's why silence can feel uncomfortable. When things get quiet, the mind rushes to fill the space. That's also why overthinking becomes worse at night. During the day, your attention is occupied, but at night, distractions disappear. Your mind finally has space, and it uses that space to bring up everything unresolved. Old mistakes, unanswered questions, future worries. You lie in bed, physically exhausted, but mentally alert. The brain tries to solve everything before sleep, as if rest is dangerous. And the more you try to force sleep, the more awake you become. This creates a cycle. Poor sleep increases anxiety. Anxiety increases overthinking. Overthinking destroys sleep. Many people try to break this cycle by fighting their thoughts. They try to push them away, ignore them, suppress them. But suppression doesn't work. The brain interprets resistance as a sign that something is important, so the thoughts return stronger. This is why telling yourself, "Don't think about it," almost never works. The brain doesn't stop overthinking when it feels attacked. It stops when it feels safe. That's the key. Overthinking isn't a thinking problem, it's a nervous system problem. And nervous system problems are solved through regulation, not reasoning. The first step isn't to answer the thought, it's to notice it. Instead of arguing with your mind, you step back and observe. You say, "This is overthinking." Not, "This thought is true." Not, "I need to fix this." Just recognition. That simple label creates distance. Then, instead of staying in your head, you shift into your body, your breath, your movement, your senses, because the body calms faster than the mind. When the body relaxes, the brain receives a new signal, the signal that says there is no immediate danger. And when that signal repeats, the mind slowly loosens its grip. Another important step is setting limits. Overthinking thrives in endless time, so you give your mind boundaries. You allow yourself to think, but not forever. This teaches your brain that thinking doesn't need to be constant to stay safe. And finally, there is acceptance. Not acceptance of bad outcomes, but acceptance of uncertainty. Because the truth is, no amount of thinking can remove all risk. Peace doesn't come from controlling the future. It comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. Overthinking fades when the brain learns a new rule. Not, "I must think more to survive," but "I can handle uncertainty." Overthinking is not your enemy. It's a habit built from fear. And habits can be retrained. Not through force, not through control, but through understanding. You don't need to stop every thought. You need to stop believing every thought. Calm is not the absence of thinking. It is the absence of fear driving it. And when fear softens, the mind finally learns to rest.